Wise County, I guess they got some debate going on over there now over how big the biggest hog. All I saw in the headlines was, we need lie detector test. Hey, Anthony, you make another pot of coffee?
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Stanfield Hunting Outfitters. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
You'll excuse me if my timing was a little off. I've been away and you've been almost dead. So
Almost dead was
I'm
pretty
rusty.
close. We had the experience from hell with American Airlines, which I love to fly American.
Not my first time.
No, and it started out in Abilene, Texas.
Everything went great there.
Yes, checked in, got in, landed in DFW, had a quick 45-minute layover, got on our next plane,
Everything's moving along nice.
sat at the front of the plane,
That's right.
backed up, turned the old Wi-Fi on, and hooked up the old Seinfeld episodes. I figured 3 Seinfeld episodes and we'll be in Nashville.
Be touching down.
And 2 episodes in, I look over at the plane and we're still sitting on the ground, and Michelle goes, "What is going on?" I said, "I have no idea." Ladies and gentlemen, and I took off my headphones. We've had a little bit of mechanical issues, and we'll pull into the gate.
We will deplane.
We got off the plane. 4.5 hours later, they bring us another plane. It lands. People get off. Before we get on, they said, "We've experienced a couple of mechanical problems." So 2 hours later, we decided to take a flight back to Abilene. Guaranteed that our luggage was not on a plane because there wasn't a plane for us to get on.
Right.
Still haven't seen my luggage,
It'll be here today, though, right?
supposedly.
Oh.
Supposedly. American Airlines, if anybody's listening, I had the CEO's cell phone. I texted him. He was not kind enough to text me back. And I was very polite on it. I
Who
told him I
gave,
was
who gave you the CEO's number?
I had 2 guys send it to me.
Really?
Yes. So I texted him. I said, I'm a
Listen,
disgruntled
motherfucker.
customer and tell him my problem.
I got a podcast.
You ought to be able to call somebody and talk to somebody. That's the problem. And they've got this queue, and you're next in line, and then someone will call you within 45 minutes to an hour. Still have not had a call.
There's no service in here, so
So,
it's looking like it was a God thing that we didn't make it there, though.
oh yeah, then I got the flu that night.
Whatever
It's
you've
been-
got,
oof.
it's been 4 days, and I know being sick is miserable, but being sick in a hotel, doubly miserable. Because the maid's got to like roll you over to clean your sheets and stuff. So.
I would honestly, I'm not lying to you. Friday afternoon, I probably would have went to Vanderbilt Hospital. I was that sick.
God.
I was that miserable because at a hospital, at a hotel, we
You
have
didn't
no
go to
medicine.
you didn't go to the hospital here.
Your mom, our front of our house, our front cabinet up there has got more medicine than
You
a
got
fucking.
their CVS.
Well, I don't.
Load up on NyQuil?
I was miserable.
Yeah, so it's looking like we missed a bullet by God's grace.
It's been a long 4 days, but haven't got our luggage yet.
Touch and go.
You know the thing.
Is there anything in your luggage that you need?
I needed a razor more than anything in the whole world.
Dollar General.
Well, I don't like those.
What the fuck?
I use a Harry's razor.
Okay.
But so I told Michelle last night. She goes, I said, "God, I just want my razor." She goes, "I've got 2 more Harry's razors in the front deal."
There you go. All
"Are
you gotta do is
serious?"
ask.
So I did, and I went and shaved, and it felt so much better.
That's what I'm saying. You've been sick.
But no, I have
You've
got
been
plenty
in
of
bed.
clothes.
All you need is pajamas and some underwear.
Yeah, I mean, I had plenty of that. I wasn't worried about it. I didn't. Your mom was the one because we had a funeral to go to Sunday,
Right.
and I didn't get to go because I was sick.
Yeah, you don't want to spread that. People are already grieving. They don't need to go home with the flu.
But it was a miserable week. And I'm glad it's over, and now we're back to having our regular plan schedule.
Yeah.
And it is a cold sumbitch here, brisk
is.
as Mags would say. It is very brisk outside.
Airy out there.
It was 34 degrees at midnight last night, and it's 21, I think now.
Yeah, I got up to I got it worked out this morning, and it just I think I went outside. It was 32 3 still.
Was the wind out of the north yet?
Yes. Yeah, it had just hit. Because I heard it hit about 5 this morning, 5:30. I got out of bed and got the day going. I got a new weight set at the house. Problem is, my lights don't always come on in the barn. So
They don't always come on.
Yeah, it's those shitty fluorescent lights.
Well, it's cold too.
So
They don't work as good.
They don't work.
Why don't you get some regular lights?
I got to figure out the lighting situation. I went in there. I was going to get my workout done before the kids woke up. Flipped the switch.
Dark
as shit. Well, I guess I'm not doing that this morning.
Are you gonna turn that? Are you gonna sheetrock that room and kind of make it into a room?
No, it's a barn.
It's a cold son of a bitch and hot.
Very
cold
very
or hot.
I thought so I got done working out, and then I went in and made breakfast, and I thought my fridge was out. Everything I touched was warm, and that's how cold my hands were. I grabbed eggs and butter and sour cream and all that stuff, and it was warm in my hand. I'm like, what the fuck? Now our coldest day of the year, I'm gonna have to call out a technician to work on the fridge. And I looked, and
Kevin's gonna be real excited.
Yeah, I look, and the temperature in there's 37 degrees. I'm like, oh, okay, it's just me. It's a me problem.
I want to tell you right now that I'm really sorry because
what?
there's something in your life that really bothers me that you need to address.
I need to fix.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not fixable.
Oh, well, then why are you gonna even?
But the 3 most expensive things in your life came to the house yesterday.
Yeah,
It'll be your wife and your 2 kids. I didn't realize how expensive they were until last night. About 7:00, Michelle goes, "Will you get all of the sodas, drinks out of the outside fridge,
pool
so fridge?" She goes, "Because they'll blow up." She goes, "They always do when it gets this cold."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay." I brung in drinks last night. Excuse me. I don't drink any kind of seltzers at all. White Claws, nothing like that.
Oh, alcohol.
I bet there's 3 cases of White Claws out there.
Mom's a good host.
We have every kind of freaking weird soda in the world for the grandkids.
Yeah.
I brung in, I'm serious. It took me 7 or 8 trips of hand loads of shit to get everything out of the fridge. There's nothing in there now but pickles and some butter.
Problem is mother restocks at a bad time. Like summer's winding down, and she continues
I'm like,
to
who's going to
restock.
use this stuff? There's nothing going to be there till summer.
Once September rolls around, like pool season's over, and she's continuing.
We had 2 fridges outside full of just drinks, and I brought them all in last night. Everything.
She's a good host. That's why people like her.
There were 7 Dos Equis, which is what I drink.
I don't drink those.
And that's all I drink is Dos Equis. So there were 7 Dos Equis, and the rest was White Claws, all kinds of shit in there. I was like, God dang, no wonder people come over our house go swimming all the time.
Yeah.
There's an unlimited supply of drinks.
Have you heard from anybody? How was Turkey? I know Saturday was rainy. I don't know what that did to the crowd.
Dirk told me they had a great show. Text from him was, had a great show. Hope you start feeling better. Love you. Talk to you next week. We're 5 hours from home.
Okay.
And I hadn't talked to him. I told him I'd call him tomorrow.
Good.
And
Good.
so I figured Wednesday would be back my day of starting to feeling back better.
I knew Falks went and
bought him some shin waders.
Some shin waders. He's proud owner of some shin waders. He talked about how awesome everybody was.
Did you get to hang out with Mags and stuff?
Yeah, for a day.
Good.
But he said like everybody at the shin booth goes above and beyond to answer any questions and
great company.
Make you feel good about spending money.
It was a good time.
Sad we missed it.
Yeah,
it's a good thing that we did.
Yeah, boy, I'd been miserable being sick there, and I'd got somebody else sick, so I was glad I wasn't there for that reason.
That's how it all changes. That's how coronavirus
all
spread.
started in Mexico.
It all started down there, somewhere.
Now, we're going to have Mike Nelson's going to be on here later this week, and we're going to do a podcast. He just got back from Mazatlan hunting. We're going to do a podcast with him. And we're going to talk about his trip to Mexico, which I can't wait for. And then my good friend Logan Pyatt is going Saturday. They're going down to Mazatlan to go duck hunting.
Thoughts and prayers.
And I'm really curious about that because we've heard some stories about it's getting pretty sketchy down there. And we just got back from Mexico, and I never felt unsafe.
Never did. But we went to Puerto Vallarta, which is the gay capital of Mexico.
I'm assuming
it is
so.
the gay destination of Mexico. All the first class of our plane was flamers.
Now, how did you know that?
Jeff, my gaydar was pinging.
Now, when I walked through, that's
everywhere.
the first thing when I walked through, I thought, God almighty, ever Peter Puffers on the front row here.
If the terrorists were to hijack that plane, it would have been me, you, and Tony fighting them, basically.
Yeah.
I don't think the other guys on that plane were gonna step up. My wife would have probably had to walk past 3 of them to help us subdue these Muhammad. So
we are just being racist today too. Now you're claiming all terrorists are Muhammad.
No, I'm just profiling. I'm not racist at all. I'm just stereotyping.
As Douglas tells me.
Yeah, it's totally legal. And then we get to Puerto Vallarta, and all walking down street is a gay couple. And I can tell they're a gay couple. I don't have to stereotype that. They're holding hands with their same-sex partner. So,
did you see that we went by a place that said men's waxing, full body waxes, men only?
Well,
now, would you go to that place?
No. Because
now, if you went there and it was a woman waxing you, would you do that?
No.
Why?
But the pain, Jeff. The pain. I'm not gonna get my legs and all that waxed, and that's not happening.
No nutsack?
Nothing. No, nothing. I'm not doing that.
What if they put some kind of lotion that just made the hair fall off?
That's nair. I can do that by myself.
Does that work that way, I wonder?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't do that there though. But do you think that was more set towards the gay couples there?
Probably.
Because
you got to know your market.
I've been to Puerto Vallarta 10 times in my life.
Never saw that place?
I never knew that it was the gay, but I went all the time in college, and that wasn't that very. It wasn't open. I would have noticed.
Oh, it wasn't as socially accepted.
No, but there was a lot of gay. There is no doubt, and the taxi kit drivers were even making fun of it. Even
right,
they were like, ha 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 ha.
Right. So I'm not incorrect in what I'm saying. When we get to Puerto Vallarta, some poor gay couple had a suitcase full of.
Well, first of all, it was the first class guys.
Toys that they were, I guess, planning on using. They had like the pill bot, or not the pill bottle, but like your pill calendar for the week or whatever. Monday, Tuesday, all that. It was loaded with different colored condoms. They're pulling out sex toys and.
Do you think the TSA guys are fucking with them?
100%.
Would that be the fun? You know, that's
listen. Your day is spent. You don't do anything all day. You watch bag after bag after bag after bag after bag after bag go through, and you're thinking, you know what? Fuck it. I've been here 4 hours. I got 4 hours to go. Bing. Look at this. We got dildos galore. Sir, we're gonna need you to open that bag real quick and pull out the contents, please.
Mom comes up to me. She goes, I'm so embarrassed for them guys' moms. I go, what? I said, God, I wish I'd have seen that. I'd have went up to him. Boy, you boys are going to have some. Well, that looks like that one would hurt.
I just don't know why you would. I just don't know why you would need that many. I really don't.
I don't understand the gay lifestyle.
I don't either.
And I damn sure didn't understand having to need 475 condoms.
Right. Well, AIDS.
Well, no, I'm just talking about how many times you can go.
Oh, maybe they're there for maybe this is their new permanent residence, and they're slowly but surely bringing the contents of their home down.
Well, as an old man, 475 condoms would last me a lifetime.
Right. Yeah. So I don't. They had a big week planned out,
but they were everywhere. I mean, when I say they, I meant homosexuals. They were
not dildos.
Elbows to assholes. Everywhere you looked, there was couples. Then I said one thing off color, and I got in trouble by Michelle for that because we went to eat at a restaurant, and they were shorthanded. And I told the guy waiter, I said, well, don't worry, there's a lot of help coming.
Right.
And there is going to be a lot of help coming.
Quality, a little ugly.
Customer service in Mexico is going to get worse because the people down there now are excellent. So you're going to get a lot of pissed off people that's lived in America for a long time. I just saw today where they said that anybody with a criminal record is probably going to get sent back.
We just talked about that with Logan and Rebel. Mm-hmm. You guys were all on board with the violent ones first, and now it just sounds like, period.
You've had plenty of time to get ready.
I know. But
I feel bad for people that are here that are working. I really, really do. But God dang it, do what you should have done and become.
So on to this. If I don't die, I'm watching Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations. I think it is.
I'm assuming these are reruns.
Yeah, obviously it's on HBO Max.
Great show.
It was the one that he did on CNN, which obviously on CNN it gets more political,
right?
Kind of as the seasons go on. He did a show in Los Angeles. I think he said, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna butcher this," but I'm gonna step out on a limb and then I'll double check it. I'm pretty sure he said like 7 out of 10 people in LA are illegal.
That can't be right.
That's what I thought, but maybe it was 3 out of 10.
That part's probably right.
I'll double check this real quick. But anyway, he brought up a good point. If you start sending all these people back, there's not a lot of Americans that are in line for a lot of the jobs that these people accumulate right now. Gardeners, field workers.
You better watch what you're going to say here.
No, I mean, it just
What you're saying is reality is we're
Part
going to
of
be
it.
a lot of manual.
Maids.
We're going to be listening to a lot of manual labor in our country.
there's a
Yes.
lot of jobs that not a lot of Americans are beating down the doors to go get that these Mexicans are taking.
You want me to tell you what the plan is? I think
What?
they're gonna deport as much as they can, and we're going to put in worker deals and make people be documented that are here to work on getting citizenship. I don't think they're against people coming over here to work. I think they're sick of people coming over here living off the system free. Yes, we're going to have a serious issue with a lot of workers,
Right.
and I really, really believe that.
It is. It's 33%.
But 33% of Los Angeles is illegal.
I had it backwards.
You know
Dyslexia.
that's a big portion of the population in California.
Right. Yeah. Over 800,000 undocumented immigrants in Los Angeles County.
How many?
Over 800,000, almost a million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's 30 million illegals in the United States. So you're talking about losing 10% of our Well, there you go, 10% of the population everywhere.
Right.
I mean, so that's a lot of people, but they've got to fix something. I mean, it's terrible.
Now, here's the deal. Also, crime, I don't think was as bad in L.A. as it is now when Bourdain made that show about Los Angeles. Like,
No, it's out of
I've
hand.
seen stats like, I think...
it ain't the illegals, though, doing all that, though.
No, it is.
They're doing all the crime?
Yeah, I saw a stat the other day, and I'll butcher this number again. A disproportionate amount of crimes are committed by illegal immigrants in California and Los Angeles. And I'll try to find that because I think it was that Tom Homan guy that shared it.
L.A. County Sheriff, the prison there, whatever they call that place, where the county lockup. I had read one time like 70 or 80% of the people there are illegals that are locked up there. Well, that's pretty simple. If you got 78, take those 70 to 80%, get rid of them. Mm-hmm. Send them out. Be gone with them.
Yeah, so we already have a small workforce.
It's going to be a lot smaller.
And then if you take all these people out and, I don't know what portion of that 800,000 has a criminal record. So if that's where you're starting, you know what I mean? It's not going to be 800. You're not going to take up all 800,000. You're only going to take up the people of the 800,000 that have a criminal record. So that number gets smaller.
Look at L.A. County sheriffs at the jail and see what percentage of the people are illegals that are locked up. Okay. There's you a good start.
All right.
You don't even have to round them up. They're rounded up already. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
Chico went to the store to get gas. He got pulled over for doing some shit, and he got a record. They got to lock him up. Now he's going to be back in Mexico.
Yeah, we're going to turn them loose and 2023, at least 1/3 of, I know that. It is difficult to know the exact percentage of illegal immigrants in Los Angeles County jails. Why? You know how many are in Los Angeles. Why can't you tell me that information?
Because they won't post it because it's L.A.
It's still just giving me the fact that 33% of L.A. County is made up of illegal, undocumented immigrants.
While we're talking illegal bullshit, let's talk about the elephant in the room right now. Have you seen the $4.7 trillion
of what?
Money that's missing? The U.S. Treasury lost $4.7 trillion. Now, this is what's crazy about it. This is so illegal. Excuse me. That they don't even know where it's gone. They don't even know. It's just tagged with some initials on it.
Right.
$4.7 trillion. You want to know how Elizabeth Warren's worth 50 to 100 million and all these politicians? This is why.
Yeah.
This has been going on since 1975 or something. $4.7 trillion. That's not counting the $2 trillion that was missing when Donald Rumsfeld announced it on 9/11.
Right.
I did the math. If you took every legal resident in the United States of America and you gave them that $4.7 trillion, you split it up, each person in our country would get a check for $15,600.
Are you sure you're not missing a zero anywhere?
No, I did the math.
Double checked?
Double check. Your family would get a check for $62,000 from the government is what you should get. Now, rumor is that Trump wants to give everybody in the United States $8,000 and do away with income tax. This is why we don't need income tax. We have plenty of money.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of money.
And that's why he's saying, and he said this before his first
money's
term.
there.
The money's there, but they've mismanaged it. And this is a good $4.7 trillion is missing just off the Treasury. This is the IRS money. This is why these politicians are fighting left and right to not get all this done, open. They don't want the transparency because it shows all the fraudulent stuff going on. It's every government agency is doing this.
100%.
$4.7 trillion
is missing.
We bring in $4.9 trillion a year. 4.7 of it, a year's worth of tax dollars is just completely missing.
Is missing.
Don't know where it's at. That's how the CIA has the black ops.
Right.
That's how we pay for all the shit we do all over the world all the time.
Yeah.
And that's just from that one deal. That's not counting all the USAID shit and all the other stuff.
That's just one department.
One department, $4.7 trillion.
It's sickening. I mean, it really is. And, you've got schools are failing, hospitals are failing, roads are shitty. Like, it's not like we've spent all this money and made our life here better.
No, we're not living in utopia by any means.
No, it's not. I mean, everything seems to be falling apart, or everything seems to be on the verge of just being outdated. When was the last time that we fixed the infrastructure anywhere?
Yep, and in both previous administrations were going to do it, and nobody ever gets that. Now we're going to have some money to do some stuff, and I think you're going to see some changes.
The problem is you've got to figure out where the money is. I just don't see this all happening in one term. I think that we're going to have a 6 months of struggle in our country. The next 6 months are going to be tough. Yeah, they said eggs are going to go up like 20 more %.
But that's because of they killed all them chickens that didn't even have this damn bird flu is what's bullshit.
Right.
So we're going to have 6 months of tough times in our country before things pick up, and they will pick back up. It's going to be like Ronald Reagan's first term. There's going to be a time where it's going to be really tough, then things are going to pick back up. Once we get all this figured out, things are going to skyrocket again. Oil's going to go back up. Costs are going to go down. Jobs are going to come back. There's going to be a ton of jobs. There's going to be good wages for everybody.
Especially if we deport everybody.
Yes, no shit. But
it might not be a job you want.
No foreign aid. We're going to have a surplus, and we're going to spend it on our people. So things are going to pick back up, but I think we're going to have a tough 6 months. But the left, and it's not going to be just the left. It's going to be a lot of right-wing politicians are going to fight this the whole way. They showed the homes for sale in Washington, D.C. right now.
That.
There's 222 homes for sale that are worth $10 million in Washington, D.C. all at once. Why are those people moving? They all know they've done some shit they shouldn't have done.
Fuck out. They're going to a non-extradition country.
I don't even know which ones of those are available.
I'm sure they listen, if they've swindled the government for a vast amount of money, I'm sure they've got a contact somewhere that's not going to roll on them. Romania, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, there's going to be a lot of these people are going to disappear. And there's a lot of politicians and a lot of political families. It's crazy how corrupt our world. And what's crazy is I'm not shocked by any of this. The 4.7 trillion I'm shocked by, but I haven't been shocked by anything because I've always, and everybody with common sense is like, how's, I keep saying Elizabeth Warren, but she's just one of many. Bernie Sanders, how's he worth $20 million? He makes $180,000 a year.
Because he took all the money from Big Pharma, and RFK called him out on it.
Of course he did, but that's we've all known that.
You can go to Cuba. Cuba doesn't extradite. Morocco.
Cuba would be my first choice.
100%. Cambodia, Laos, Iran, Montenegro, China, Russia.
No, you haven't named one place.
Iceland.
I think Russia's going to do some extradition because I think Russia we're going to send Fauci's ass over there to stand trial.
I'm so flagged now. I guarantee you. Which countries don't extradite with all the other stuff that I've looked at?
Excuse me. Being sick, I got a chance to watch a couple of shows.
Bangladesh?
No.
Belarus?
No.
No?
No, that's Ukraine, basically.
Cambodia?
No.
Cameroon?
No. I don't want to live anywhere in Africa.
This here says Cuba does extradite, so maybe I'm wrong.
Cuba would be my first choice.
What about Ethiopia?
No.
You could live like a king.
Yeah. The king in Ethiopia does not live as well as a hunting guide now, but Knox City does, I don't think.
Georgia?
Nope.
Indonesia? I've heard good things.
No, a bunch of Muslims.
The Ivory Coast?
Nope. If there's a place that don't extradite the United States, it's a shithole, I promise you.
The Maldives.
That would be second point.
The
That might
Maldives.
be first. I think one of the countries like Peru or one of those places doesn't extradite to.
Peru does, according to worldpopulationreview.com.
Well, no, it's one of those countries up there, about like Peru, and I can't think of the name of the country.
Oh,
but
Saudi Arabia. I heard Saudi Arabia is
fuck
nice.
that. Live in the damn cat box? No,
Taiwan.
no. Taiwan's a U.S. territory.
It says it doesn't. Territory not formally recognized by the U.S. That's what it says.
So I started watching Landman.
United Arab of Emirates. Go ahead. Landman. I've not watched it. Vatican City. You can go to Vatican City.
No.
That's it.
Landman, I've watched 4 episodes of it so far.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about it since you hadn't watched it yet. It's a really good series. Billy Bob Thornton, boy, he's a good actor. He's a damn good actor.
He is. He's in another show that's on Prime called Goliath. He's an attorney. It's really good.
But it's been pretty good. It's a little over the top on some things. His ex-wife's a skank.
It's Darcy off RC Blues. Be careful how you talk to her.
The mom is?
Yeah. Teenage heartthrob.
His daughter is
I don't know who his daughter is.
she's good looking in that show too.
Well, they're not going to cast an ugly looking daughter.
No.
Coming from Darcy.
I did think it was kind of interesting though. She's 17 years old and they show her boobs right off the bat.
What?
They say she's 17. She's not 17.
You can't do that.
But I can't believe they didn't make her 18 if they was going to show her boobs.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of, I thought that was kind of weird.
Little day class
So
A.
I looked at
Taylor.
him kind of funny. I was like,
I
I
supposed to
better
be
watch.
looking?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But
I guess legal age in Texas is 17.
but it's an interesting show, and it's definitely Texas. I mean, it is Texas.
I'm sure it's sensationalized, but it's got to be. It's a TV show.
Yeah. Well, he's such a talented guy. We watched. What else did we watch of his the other day that was really good?
He makes the best bad news. He makes the best butterbean or butterball, whatever the fuck. his
Oh,
name
Billy
is.
Bob?
Yeah.
He's a great actor. Nah, that's not as good. Walter Matthau played that deal, but he plays
Way better.
He is a great actor, and he's been in some great stuff. There's no doubt about it. I don't know. Is he a California guy? He's not a Texan, is he?
His dad was a football coach. I don't know where. I want to say he's like from Georgia.
And he was married to Angelina Jolie at one time, right?
He was. Yes, he was.
Is he a big liberal?
I don't know anything about his politics. Don't know anything about the man's politics. I just enjoy his show and don't pollute
Where's he
it.
from?
Hot Springs, Arkansas.
He makes some really Taylor Sheridan. Well, he's definitely a Texan. He owns land right by us out here. He makes a couple of he writes a script in there and he talks about the wind energy.
Yeah.
And I've seen it on the previews before, but then I watched it in the deal and he's talking to this girl and he explains about how it's not green energy.
Oil's everywhere, baby.
And he goes all through it. And I thought, man, that's really a good talking point there.
Yeah.
But it's a it's a good, interesting show. I still like Tulsa Time Tulsa, whatever it is.
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King is my favorite of all his stuff so far. That and Lioness. Mm-hmm. But this was a good show. Landman is good. I've only seen 4 episodes so far.
We'll watch it. We'll get there eventually. We're finishing Night Agent. I say finishing Night Agent. We're still in season 1, but
We're fixing to watch
We're getting there.
Watson next.
I don't know anything about that.
The black guy that was in Boys in the Hood that was also in Residence. He was also he's a couple other things and he plays Watson and it looks like it's going to be pretty interesting.
Sherlock Holmes Watson.
Yeah, kind of that kind of show. So I'm interested in it.
I watched the dumbest movie, and I was so excited to see it. It's called Long Legs. It's a scary movie that came out last year. It's got Nicolas Cage in it. I heard great things.
Not good.
The first half of the movie is very...
Is it a thriller or a gory show?
It's not gory at all. It's very unsettling. It's not scary.
So it's a thriller type deal?
You're on pins and needles the
Yeah,
whole
I can't
time.
watch it like that.
But then, like, so just the ending is just... The last 30 minutes just ruins the movie. It's only an hour and a half long, so that's
The last third of the movie is
the last third of the movie sucks. And it's broken up into, like, 3 acts. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Act 1, fantastic. The whole time I'm, like, on the edge of my seat. Like, the suspense builds very, very well. Towards the end of Act 2, it gets a little wonky. And then the whole third act, you're just like, they ruined this movie. They ruined it. The whole time, I'm like, oh, I got to tell Mom about this show. She's really going to like it. And then skip it.
Yeah,
Nicolas Cage is fantastic in it, though.
He's another great actor.
He's very. I can pull up a clip of. I can pull up a clip of him and as Longlegs, but just the ending, just skip it.
He's been around forever too. I watched a show. He's in a show called Valley Girls. That was probably around 1984.
So the thing is like as I'm like realizing I'm losing interest in this, I go to the online and see like what the reviews are, and basically everybody said the same thing that I kind of thought. So I wasn't alone in my assessment. Here's Nicolas Cage in the
house door. A nice lady with a Bible and a congratulations, you have been selected. You may now collect
Who's that?
your gift
Nicolas
from
Cage.
church. It says it right here.
right.
Right here on the orders from the man downstairs. The Cameron family farmhouse will be so bright and white, you can't miss it.
You're referring to Carrie Ann Camera? What did you say to her at the mental institution? Knock, knock, knock.
So anyway,
Yeah, it's not
That's
my
it.
kind of show. It's kind of weird shit. I don't like that kind of crap.
yeah, it's like I said, first hour very well done, and then as it starts wrapping up, you're like, this is stupid. Let's end this now. Because like one of the reviews, so like they have to explain what happened at the end, and like a good horror movie shouldn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
No.
Like a good scary movie, you shouldn't have to. Like you have this whole drawn out thing, and then like it just, I don't know. The ending seems abrupt and forced, and it could have been.
If you're
really
watching
good.
a scary movie,
Yeah.
I don't like scary movies, but a scary movie should be some kids making out in a car and someone trying to kill them in the back seat or some shit. You know what I mean? Something kind of, or walking through a neighborhood and somebody's going to grab you and then throw you in the bushes and kill you or some shit.
This had Silence of the Lambs type vibes because you got the female police agent and going after a serial killer and everything's kind of dimly lit.
But you have that going, the serial, like Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
And you've got a plot.
Yeah.
And it just some of these weird. I don't like scary movies, and I damn sure don't like anything with any demons or evil spirits.
You're not gonna like this then because the whole 30 minutes it's all satanic.
Yeah, I ain't watching that shit. You just open it up a can of worms. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
That's kind of how I felt in the middle of the night finishing this movie.
Yeah, I won't watch that
Because
shit.
he ends it by saying "Hail Satan," and I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah,
Now I got this in my house.
yeah, I don't watch that stuff. I will not watch it.
I
don't
would be
care about
worried
it.
as an actor having to say all that stuff.
I would
you know?
too. Like
You're
if they
just
came to
opening a
you
door.
and they said, "We'll give you $1 million to play the priest in the new Exorcist," would you want to do it?
The priest? I get to be the priest?
The priest that gets the spirit in him, the evil spirit in him.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know. But like having to say that as many times as Nicolas Cage did, I'd be like, can we cut a couple of these out? I feel like I'm opening a portal.
Well, you're already living in L.A., so you probably already got that portal going.
So then I had to, then after that I had to like cleanse my thoughts, and that's when I turned on Anthony Bourdain. What a better guy to feel better about yourself than looking at a guy that killed himself. Really dark time.
Well, he was an interesting guy too, though.
He was. Just his work it's really awesome.
Did you like Puerto Vallarta?
I did.
It's a beautiful place.
It really is. Yeah.
The wells were amazing.
I'm a big West Coast guy.
You a big West Coast guy now?
West Coast is the best coast, is what I've come to figure out. Yeah, I'm a West Coast guy now.
Puerto Vallarta's weather is the same as LA is.
I can see why so many people don't want to leave.
It's beautiful weather. I mean, I was really
It is.
disappointed because I think it's going to be there and it's going to be cold in the
No,
morning.
it's fantastic.
It was nice.
Nice. Doesn't get too hot. There's times in Cancun where you're like, oh, God.
That's my favorite resort we've stayed at.
Yeah. It was pretty, too,
We
with
stayed
the
at
mountains and everything.
The Ziva, the Hyatt Ziva is what
Hyatt
we
Ziva.
stayed at. And it was very nice. I mean, the rooms were clean and nice. The staff was amazing. Mm-hmm. Town was nice other than being surrounded by gay people. And that didn't bother me at all. So
I was kind of worried going down there what it was going to be like with the
Dynamics.
tariff and the animosity and everybody going back and the Gulf of America. And I was kind of worried what it was going to. Turns out, money talks and bullshit takes the subway.
yeah, there's people making money. They don't care.
No. So
We'll talk about the Gulf of America. I think that's absolutely stupid.
I have heard that the reason he renamed it is so that they can drill.
Yeah, that's
I
what
heard
it's
that
about.
Biden said no more drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Trump said, perfect, we won't. It's going to be the Gulf of America now.
I think that's such a battle to take. Michelle always used to tell me when you guys were little all the time, pick your battles with them.
Right.
Pick your battles with the boys, blah, blah, blah. And that's a pick your battle deal. Who
Yeah.
cares?
I thought I was going to have to pick my battle with Reese when I was watching Long Legs. He sleptwalked. And I'm like here. My anxiety's up to here. And you kind of hear the door open. And you're like, oh, God. Am I just hearing shit now? Maybe it was the ice maker. And then you hear footsteps. And then you're like, okay, somebody's up. who's awake in the house?
And he was sleepwalking?
Yeah, sleepwalking. Which is already kind of eerie because you're not really talking to a person. You're talking to whatever that is in that dreamlike state.
Can you slap him and wake him up when they do that?
I've heard you just kind of got to shuffle them. So that's kind of what I did. And I didn't ask a whole lot of questions about what he was seeing or anything and just kind of herded him back to bed and
He goes back to sleep.
pulled the blanket over him. Yeah, the other night.
See,
So-
he's doing this a bunch now again?
No, not a bunch. But the other night he woke up. He was sleep. Friday night the kids get to sleep in our room. It's their treat for the week. So he's sleeping and I'm still awake, scrolling on my phone or whatever. And he just wakes up, starts screaming, crap, 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 crap. Jesse's asleep, so she wakes up. She's in a panic, and I'm like, he's fine. He's just sleep talking. But she's asleep, so she hurries up over there, and he's like, I don't know if he thinks he's got a fire on his blanket or what it is. So she kind of calms him down, and then he goes back to sleep. But the other night when I was watching Long Legs and he sleptwalk, it was
Creeped you out?
fuck yeah.
You thought maybe he'd been possessed.
I thought the TV went in his room or something, and I was all right, kid. You got to go back to sleep.
I didn't know he did that in Puerto Rico that time. He
did.
So he hasn't done that at our house in a while.
Yeah.
He kicked me in the nuts one night sleeping with us, though. He
Well, that's
just
not sleepwalking.
exploded.
That's just
I think he's
bad partner.
He's no fun to sleep with.
No.
At all.
neither one of them are. But as shitty as the movie as Long Legs turned out to be, I was very nervous whenever I found out somebody was in my house.
He's your son.
Well, he shouldn't have been there. Should have been in his room.
Well, shouldn't
have been
he's
gallivanting
fixing to be
around.
11. Got 2 more years him sleeping with y'all, maybe.
Maybe.
Zach was like 17 when he quit sleeping on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll take it as it comes, I guess. Well, there was something you were going to bring up about the pig competition.
Oh, yeah. They had all the congrats to Bucky and Jamie Nail for
Hell
winning Clay's Texas State Coyote Hunting Championship. Zachary told me this a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the San Angelo Big Cat Contest.
Yeah.
They pay like a ton of money. I think around $100,000 maybe for whoever wins the Big Cat Contest. Well, since they started doing some more polygraphs and these different tests on them, the poundages went down about 10 pounds. So all of a sudden, bobcats have gotten 10 pounds lighter in the last decade, let's say, in San Angelo. And I don't know what kind of test I don't know the rules behind it or anything. But now they had a hog hunting contest somewhere north of Dallas, somewhere, one of them counties over there. And the biggest hog weighed 389 pounds, which is a big ass pig. We've shot one over 400 here that I know of because we weighed it.
It's not unheard of, but very uncommon.
Very uncommon. And this was like 1988 or 89.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot more big pigs then because there wasn't helicopter hog hunting.
Right.
There wasn't a bunch of people trapping them, and there was no thermals. So a big old boar that moved around basically at night was hard to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, they did this one, and there was 2 pigs that were like 380 something, and somebody's like
3?
There was 2 pigs that
Two
weighed
pigs?
385, 389, and someone's like, "Yep, we need to do some damn polygraph tests." So I'm assuming there's some drama going on with this contest.
Wonder if they were feeding them.
I'm sure that someone trapped some pigs and fed them for a long time and then shot them, and that's against the rules. I'm assuming it's against the rules.
I would probably assume so.
So I don't know all the details on it, but I saw that, and so when I saw that someone needs to do a polygraph test, I knew that there was someone that was debating the validity of this contest.
Anytime there's a big pot or a big money exchange, you need to have just a polygraph just to make sure everybody's on the up and up. And maybe it was legit. I don't know. I'm just, with everything that I've seen being out there, I've not seen a whole bunch of 385-pound pigs running around.
No. I have not seen a pig over 300 pounds in a couple of years.
And I'm,
we see them all the time. I
see
mean,
'em
we're
all the
there.
time.
We're out
Right.
a lot.
Got a lot of game cameras going up, and there's not a whole lot of times we're like, ooh, shit. It's a big boy there.
It's kind of like the 30-pound bobcat. I think is about the average now when it was almost 40 pounds.
Right.
Well, and so I was like, well, how the hell are you going to get a bobcat and keep it for a year and feed it? Well, what you do is, I don't know what a bobcat eats that would make it gain weight.
A lot of chicken?
I don't know. Chicken's not fattening though, bad for you. But if you gave
Corn?
him 2 live chickens a day to eat every day, and he always sat around and ate 2 live chickens every day, he'd gain weight and get kind of lazy.
Probably got a lot of corn.
I don't think a bobcat eats corn.
Yeah, I bet they would. If you
I don't know. Why would
mixed
they?
it all up in like a slurry,
Well, maybe that would be the
threw it under the door.
Well, no.
All they'd have to do is
I don't
just-
think they're trapping them and keeping them.
Oh.
I think they've got a place where there's a bobcat, like an old barn or something.
Yeah.
And they feed them for a year, pretty healthy,
Yeah.
and they keep them that area. That's
Hell
all.
yeah.
That's all I can figure out how they would do it.
All you got to do is look at the American standard diet and just replicate that, and the cat's going to get fat.
Give him some little Debbie's.
Just little Debbie's and shoo off anything that's eating it before the bobcat, and away you go. Do you think that RFK is going to ban anything, or is he just going to make it known how bad this shit is?
I think
for you?
red dye 14 is that what it's called?
Red dye 40.
40. I think it will get
A lot
banned.
of the dyes are going to get banned, probably.
I think a lot of things are going to get banned.
It just doesn't make any sense how, like, you look at the ingredients on a box of potatoes, and potato is way down the list. But you look at something else from like Italy or something overseas, and it's just what it says. Like, it's potatoes and salt and something.
Yeah,
you know? You don't have all these chemical ingredients.
No.
So it doesn't make, like, the companies are already making it one way. Like, you're making it a different way in America just to keep us addicted to it and fat and unhealthy. But like, you've already got the other recipe out there. Just make that and send it over here. Snacks was telling me Mountain Dew was about to get pulled off of the shelf, I think in one of those Spanish countries. And European countries. And they just changed the recipe. And they still got Mountain Dew over there.
I
It's
think
like,
you're
just do that here.
I think you're going to see some of that here. I think one of the things he's really going to do is he's going to change the pesticide market. We got a lot of pesticide companies at home with us, and I've got a lot of pesticide guys that listen to us. And I've had a couple of them talk about that this year to me. I think that's what's going to see. I think you're going to see some of the things that we're spraying on our plants that's going to get banned.
Yeah.
And I don't know the name of them. I'm not in the pesticide
Glyphosate.
business, but I think some of that stuff is going to get banned. Interesting thing, and this came from Landman. Don't know how accurate it is, but I bet it's pretty close. Billy Bob Thornton's talking to a guy that lives with him. It's an attorney, an older guy, and he's talking to him about eating something shitty that, like,
Yeah, I saw that
Little
clip.
Debbie's.
Yeah.
And
He's like, you're smoking.
and he goes, coming from a guy smoking a cigarette, he goes, listen here, jackass, or something,
Yeah.
whatever he calls him. He goes, in Japan right now, 90% of the population smokes unfiltered Pall Mall cigarettes.
Yeah.
They live to be 90 years old. He goes, they smoke cigarettes, they drink coffee, they eat fish. He goes, they don't eat all that Little Debbie's bullshit you're having, all that. He didn't say Little Debbie's. He said all that whatever the hell you'd call it, I don't even know what it is, pre-packaged food. And he goes, so don't tell me about unhealthy. And I thought, you know what? He's right. Mm-hmm. Because they do have the longest lifestyle over there.
Well, I would bet that there's a lot of chemicals in our cigarettes that they don't have over there.
You're probably right. But I had a guy from RJ Reynolds or Philip Morris hunted with me 25 years ago. And I said, we were talking about the cigarette business. The tobacco business has always fascinated me because I know nothing about it. It's just crazy to think they plant tobacco and they store them in these and they dry them out all year long. It just, one of these days, I've told so many clients I told Gabe and then when they were here, when I get to Kentucky one of these days, I want to go to a tobacco farm and just see it. Kind of like I want to see a pineapple farm.
Nasty work.
But I want to see I'd love to see.
I think that shit sticks to you.
Yes.
I think it's pretty gross.
But I would like to see it. But anyways, and it's true. Do you have that clip up on
Yeah, I
YouTube?
got it right here.
And it's an interesting clip.
You gotta quit eating that shit. It's gonna kill you.
Says the 2-pack-a-day smoker.
You ever been to Japan? The whole country smokes. 90-year-old men sucking on filterless Pall Malls and doing an hour of Tai Chi in the park. Same thing in China, same thing in Italy, and they don't even exercise. All they do is drink wine, eat pasta, and fuck. You know what those three countries have in common? Lung cancer ain't even in the top 10 leading causes of death. So, it ain't cigarettes, it's sugar and shit like that that kills you. I'm telling you.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, there is.
Sugar is horrible for us.
It is.
I'll tell you, before we get into that, let's get into this real quick. More of our government. It amazes me how everybody says the government's not a business. Well, by God, it is a business. Mm-hmm. And it should be ran like a business. We own the business, and we should have some say-so on it, and we're supposed to through elected officials, which we do not get representation because they're all bought and paid for by the same conglomerate that's selling all them $1 billion homes in Dallas, in the Washington, D.C. area. In Social Security,
394 million people are collecting Social Security.
3.6 million of them are between the ages of 110 and 119.
But it's 394, right? 394 million?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I just saw Elon tweeted out today. There's like 394 million recipients of Social Security.
There's only 300 million people in the country.
That's what he said.
That's what's crazy about the whole thing. That's what 3.5 million between the ages of 120 and 129, 3.9 130 to 39, 3.4 140 to 49, 1.3 150 to 159. So here's my question. Your mom's texting me. I'm trying to text you back. My dad passed away in June 23rd of 2020. My dad passed away. On July 1st of 2020,
they cut it.
He didn't have a check.
Right.
Wasn't expecting to get a check. But when we closed out all his stuff and did all that stuff, there was no more money. He was dead. They got a survivor's benefit for $250 fucking or whatever. Whatever the whole thing was. I don't even remember. Wasn't expecting nothing. Didn't want nothing.
Yeah.
But it was over. How the fuck these people getting paid at 140 years old?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they didn't file that they died. Something. Y'all missed out on a lot of money from Ron. By doing the right thing.
We never filed nothing though.
Oh.
We never sent them no death certificates or anything.
Right.
The only death certificate I had to do is I had to send one to the city of Wichita Falls to collect his life insurance. That was it. Mm-hmm. And I had to send them a death certificate.
Right.
The lady goes, "What'd he die from?" He quit breathing.
Yeah.
Dead. Cancer, I guess. Not COVID, no death. He just died of lung cancer. He died. But I sent it to him. And they sent us a check for his life insurance.
I got to start screenshotting this shit more. He tweets and retweets so much stuff.
But but then I'm wondering who's in charge at Social Security. There's got to be some analyst somewhere that looks at this and says, whoa, hold on. This guy here's the oldest person living on earth. He's 189 years old.
Right.
We'd like to talk to him.
Yeah.
And
I think this is the thing that mom...
And then the government goes to you and they get on your ass. This is another thing that wears me out, is the IRS, the Democrats, so you people that are fighting for the left on this side, well, by God, it's bullshit. This Doji's not, it's a coup and all this other stuff. The same people that you're doing wanted to hire 85,000 more IRS agents to get on your ass to get more money out of you, and they're misusing the money we have. If you give someone $601 on Venmo, they want to tax you on that.
Yeah. Yeah, so there is over there, that's the 394 that they're talking about. 394 million people collect Social Security. Population is 334 million. So
there's someone that's age 360 to 369.
Right.
So I guess they were here they got here the day the Pilgrims did, and they said, you know what, we're going to collect money now from now on.
But how does that work? Because we didn't even have Social Security.
Someone put some numbers in wrong and something, and they just overlooked it.
And they're just like, fuck it, pay it.
Yeah.
I know it says that they're 350 years old, but let's just roll the dice.
Like 38 million people, or 38 million. 38 million people between 0 and 9 are collecting Social Security. So that would basically tell us that 15% of our population has got kids that are dead, that someone died and they're getting money from for Social Security. It's just that's why we have money problems. That's why we're in debt to other countries, and that's why we should be able to pay our soldiers more money. Let's pay our military more money.
Yeah.
But the people that are mad about this are not thinking. the politicians that are mad about this because they're fixing to uncover their ass getting paid for tons of money for free. And I can see where they get mad. If you were Elizabeth Warren, and I'm using her again, and she's just one of many, but you're getting $1 million or $2 million a year from some fund for not doing nothing, I could see where you'd be fighting it.
Yeah. And what's crazy is like all the people that do it right. You know what I mean? Like according to that, so there's more people my age collecting Social Security at 30 to 39 years old, 52 million, than there are people that are 60 to 69.
Yeah. So do you think Social Security is going to go broke? I say no.
Not according to that. It's just been but that's always what I've said. Like if we continue to misappropriate the funds, one of these days it's got to go dry.
There's so much money comes in our country. That's why they're going to do away with income tax.
Maybe.
The IRS income tax will not be a thing. My grandkids will not have to deal with any of that.
Yeah, but I sat next to a money manager for that hour that we were on the tarmac, and he said, you're gonna have to get both parties on board.
They will be.
Because you can't have Trump come in and because that was one of my questions. That's a question that I still have. What's going to happen to all the accountants that are out there that only do personal finance, that only do mine and yours taxes? They don't do corporate.
They're going to have to learn the code.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's going to be what's going to happen to all those people?
Well,
like my accountant, I'm sure he does some companies, but I think the vast majority of his work is done by
personal income tax, H&R Block. Those people are going to be fighting this left and right, but they're done.
But that's what he was saying. He's saying it's going to have to be both parties on board, because if Trump comes in and for 4 years you don't have a federal income tax and you don't have the IRS, and then you get a Democrat in there in 4 years, let's say, or let's say it's 8 years. Let's say Trump and then Vance. And for 8 years we don't have this. And then you get a Democrat that hated this idea, and now all of a sudden we've got this again. There's going to be too much going back and forth.
I think both parties. I think we're fixing to weed out a lot of shitty politicians. Now, when I say shitty politicians, I mean politicians are in the middle of it.
I don't think so.
I think there's going to be a mass retirement of politicians in the next 2 years. Mass retirement. I think you're going to get into politicians are going to be forced to do what the American people want, and I think income tax is one of the things people don't want.
Yeah, but there's just so many people that are... This is what Trump did in the first 4 years. Like, if he said one thing, the opposite side had to go to the other end of the table on every issue.
I think both sides of the voters are against taxes, and I think they're all going to see that.
But they're not represented.
No, but they're gonna. This is going to open eyes up to how much fraud's going on with our Social Security and taxes. I think what's going to happen is you're going to see people get a raise on their Social Security, and that's going to make a lot of people happy. Everybody should be.
Right.
Except for teachers in our state, because they don't get Social Security. I think you're going to see a big increase in people getting Social Security checks, and I think you're going to see people see they don't have to pay income tax no more, and they're going to be happy and all for it. Nobody's going to go back to that again.
Mm-hmm.
And by showing as much money as we're wasting, I don't think we're going to have a huge increase on this VAT tax to make it work. I think you're talking like 5%.
Yeah, I mean, just get your shit in order. Get your house in order. And that's what's so frustrating whenever... we cut aid or we cut whatever to a country, or we impose a tariff. Motherfucker, we got to do what's right by us.
Yes.
You are not a United States citizen.
Nope.
You do business with the United States, and if you're unhappy with the business, with the agreement, quit selling your shit over here.
AOC comes out. You have rights. No, you don't have rights. You're illegal. That's what they don't understand. And I feel sorry for those people, because there's so many people, and there's a certain lady in our life that we have that's in this situation, and she's a sweet lady, and I feel sorry for her. But she's had plenty of time to get her shit straight, and I feel so sorry for her on this deal.
Right.
But you don't have any rights because you're not an American citizen. And it's a sad deal, but that's the reality of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the tariffs. Now he's putting reciprocating tariffs. You charge us 15%, we're going to charge you 15%. Why would you get mad about that?
Right.
I mean, that's just common freaking sense.
Yeah, but
the whole world used us as their bank forever.
Yeah, and now, sorry, we're going broke. I mean, you look at the Doge counter. They have saved $100 billion over in 3 weeks or a month, I guess now. So, $700 per American taxpayer
is what they've saved so far.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Projected Dove savings now near 110 billion. So we're about to cross the 110 billion mark. But, just like all these countries that get pissed off whenever we do something that is pro-American.
Yeah, that's who we work
That's going to
for.
make our life a little bit easier over here and maybe reduce the debt and the fucking burden that we're putting on every one of the kids that we have over here. And then that fucking Trump, only looking out for himself. Well, that's what he was elected to do. He was elected to look out for America's best interests. He's not looking out for yours. Sorry, I hate to tell you. Maybe Barack Obama was, maybe Bush was, Biden to some extent, but
There's a reason them guys are all silent right now. Let's be 100% honest here. If you're a former president of our country and you thought someone coming in was doing something illegal that was wrecking your country, you'd be on TV bitching about it every day.
right.
Their silence tells me something.
Yeah.
What he's doing is legal. And they don't like it because they know it's going to catch all the shit that they've done and been exposed to and for years.
Are you going to watch Canada-US Part 2 on Thursday?
I don't care about hockey, but I would. I don't dislike Canadians. I've got a lot of Canadian friends that I
don't
really
dislike them
think the
either.
world of. And I don't
dislike a single Canadian. I don't dislike a Mexican. I don't dislike anybody.
Okay, I'm with you there. But they're making this into this anti-Canada, anti-US. I don't have nothing against Canada.
I don't either.
I think Canada should be paying their fair share just like we should. I think
Sure.
it should be fair. I hope we whip their ass in hockey.
Of
just 'cause
course.
I'm an American.
I'm not going to root for Canada. I'm American.
And but they're turning it into this.
Well, of course. How can you not, though?
Well, the media's really turning into it. And I guess after they booed us and we whipped their ass,
They booed our national anthem,
and then we kicked their ass in fighting.
and we got into 3 fights in 9 seconds.
And
Did you watch those clips?
no, but I said it's great.
Oh, it's fantastic. As soon as the puck drops, I don't know who these. I don't follow hockey at all, so these names are foreign to me. But I guess these brothers they got in the fight are just like the goons, I guess. And I don't know if
Slapstick, the Sutter
I
brothers,
don't know
or
if
whatever
the
they are.
coach put them out there knowing that they were goons. I don't know if they're good at hockey or not. Somebody let me know in the comments. That's fine. Let me know. I'm ignorant to hockey.
Have you seen Slapstick?
No.
That's they get in a big fight right before the face off.
But as soon as the puck drops,
Slap shot, not slapstick.
gloves come off. You and me, we're going at it. And then that fight ends, and I guess one brother was already in a penalty box for fighting, and they had the other brother mic'd up.
Who are the brothers? We got to look them up.
It's some fucked up name.
Thurgods or something? I've heard the names
I'll
before.
look at it. It starts with a TH, I know.
Yeah, I don't know who that. I don't know shit about hockey, but
Let me look.
I did have a guy message me because we talked about the two black kids from Wichita Falls. Grandparents, Gary Mills' grandsons played. They got drafted in the first. One of them's an all-star too. The guy told me, he said, "I never thought listening to y'all's podcast I'd hear my nephew's names." Popeye Jones that played for the NBA, his sons play NHL, and his nephew listens to our pod, or his brother-in-law listens to our podcast, and told me, he said, "Never thought I'd hear my nephew's names on y'all's podcast."
People do cool shit. All right, here's.
I think both these teams hope it's a precursor to what could be a dynamic final. Let's finally drop this puck, get the action going.
The Kachuk brothers are on the ice, flanking Jack Eichel. And
All right, here we go.
look out. They're going to drop the gloves right away. Matthew Kachuk and Brandon Hagel right off the hop.
And I don't know if them booing the national anthem is what started this. I don't know if there was a feud going on, because I'm assuming all these guys probably play in the NHL together.
Yeah,
So I don't know if this was something carried over from the regular season.
it's like everybody just stands around and watches.
Well, they wait for them to fall, and then
If Tony was getting his ass whooped, I'd be jumping in.
and now they get on top of them.
The tone's been set.
This is in Canada, right?
I think so.
They play in Boston Thursday night, right?
That looks like a heavy Canada crowd. If I can find that last name, I can type it in. But they have one of those brothers mic'd up. So he goes to the penalty box, and then I think the other brother gets into a fight.
Kachuk, who's the first one to make contact and say, hey, let's go.
To Chuck or something?
So instead of the Canadians getting shot out of the cannon like they were in game one,
I can't see his last name.
Here's the start of your
There it
game,
is.
just
Tha-
ticks of the clock
the
off.
THA.
Plenty of
Okay, I
action
think
to
I can
go.
spell it.
You probably just put TH something hockey player.
The first star for Team started.
And then they drop the puck again, and then here comes the other brother.
Oh, yeah, watch. I don't think we're done. No, I don't
No,
think
you're
so
not done.
either. Parayko's just waiting and yep. Brandon Kachuk.
What a fucking sport.
Both get involved early.
I had no idea this game was even going on.
Bennett's not going to back down even though he's outweighed.
I'm telling you right now,
You don't
there ain't
wanna see
nothing
those
tougher than a
guys.
fucking hockey player.
No.
What a trophy.
Football, forget about it.
UFC guys and hockey players.
And I'm not sure anybody thought this is the way it was going to start.
Not at all. We just went to.
Ain't nothing personifies America more than fucking fighting after a national anthem.
Okay, so
The most peaceful song in the world, followed by "Let's whoop that sumbitch's ass."
I'm gonna go fuck him up. Let's see. Why is it not letting me click on that?
I bet you they're from a small town in Minnesota or the Dakotas, probably. Probably lied. They're probably from Boston or somewhere,
Right.
or upstate New York.
The Chuck, right? That was the name we've settled on.
Yeah.
The Chuck Hockey. It'll get me close enough, I bet.
The Chukuk brothers. TKACUHK.
Okay. Let me see if this one's it. Because the second brother was mic'd up, and you hear him go into the penalty box with his brother. I'm gonna try to find that video. I doubt I will, but hell of a time. It's gonna get me to watch.
Yeah, I'll be watching that on Thursday night.
It's gonna get me to watch Thursday night. Be on ESPN. Okay, so now I know the. Where are they from?
You wouldn't even fucking guess.
No.
No.
Are they? They can't be Canadian.
No.
Obviously.
Their dad was a hockey player too, and he looks like he would whip your freaking ass in a heartbeat. The dad was born in Melrose, Massachusetts, but the boys were born in St. Louis because they were. I guess he played for St. Louis.
Oh, really?
But I figured it was some little town, but they're Massachusetts boys. I tell you, I wish Nolan was here because he's a big hockey kid. He knows all about them, I'm sure.
Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they were the goons of that or what. I'm sure if you're on the. This is the All Stars, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yep, it's the. What do they call that? The Nations of Four.
It's 4 nations.
Yeah, it's Finland, Sweden, U.S., and Canada.
Beat them 3-1.
Yeah, he was born in Scottsdale, Arizona, one of them.
Big hockey town.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's funny I laughed when I saw that because I thought, well, it's probably from some little small town in northern Minnesota or somewhere. But good for them then. Proud of them.
But I saw.
I bet you Trump invites them to the White House.
Oh, I'm sure because you saw it was Field Yates from ESPN. He was talking. You know they've turned the Pro Bowl and football into a flag football game. The NBA All-Star break is basically just a dunk competition, which congratulations to the Red Raider Power.
Boy, he's catching a lot of shit.
What do you do?
Oh, just all the haters. Token white boy. Won it 3 times in a row.
He's good at dunking. He came from Texas Tech. That's what we do up there.
You dunk.
We go hard in the paint. All right? We go hard in the paint at Raider Alley. And then you've got this hockey all-star game basically in 3 fights in 9 seconds.
Did you know that, speaking of Texas Tech, did you know that Netflix has got a series coming out on them?
I saw that.
Tech is
making moves, baby.
I told Michelle, I said, Tech has really got a, everywhere we go, I see a Tech hat because I notice them.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you see a Texas Tech hat. I'm not a Tech guy. You are a Tech guy. Your
Big
mother.
Tech guy. We're Springsport School.
Does Taylor Sheridan have some ties there?
I don't know.
I noticed in Landman, his son goes to Tech and he wears a Tech hat.
I bet it's just
a Texas deal. Because they also portray TCU in it a lot too.
Yeah, he's not dumb. I'm sure the owner's son probably goes to TCU and the worker's son goes to Texas Tech, where the common guy goes.
That's exactly how it worked out.
So Taylor Sheridan's not dumb.
No, he's actually a fucking genius. Every big series on TV right now, he's got his name on just about. But anyways, Tech has got a big following. But anyways, they've got Netflix.
It's a cult following. It's a bit of a cult following.
Netflix has got a show coming out about them.
For the underdog.
And I think that's very good for West Texas.
It is.
Patrick Mahomes, I've said it before, of all the NFL players, there's not a player out there that's more proud of where he went to college at than he is.
Yeah.
No one in playing in pro sports does that. Back to the NBA, I didn't watch the All-Star game. You couldn't pay me to watch it.
No.
I guess it was the ratings were down low big time. NBA ratings are crashing.
I'm sure the NFL Pro Bowl was probably down too.
Oh, who wants to watch that crap?
Right.
But Kevin Durant said they ought to just cancel thing, give everybody off 3 or 4 days and let them have time off. But basketball, I tried to watch for like 2 minutes one day.
Yeah.
It's a terrible game to watch. It's nothing. I mean, they make all their money off of China. That's where the money in the NBA comes from, is China.
People
in China love the game.
Really?
That's their sport they watch.
Huh.
And it's just Americans don't understand it no more. Well, even if you watch a game anymore, LeBron is the greatest player playing right now. I don't know if he's the greatest player playing right now, but outside of Michael Jordan and Kobe, he's a top 3 player, and they can debate one way or the other. But all the other players are foreign players. The Wemby kid.
Right.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, whatever the fuck his name is, the Greek kid from Milwaukee.
Right.
Luka Doncic, the trade was upside down. That was a terrible trade. But they're all foreign players. It's turned into a foreign game. And
I haven't thought about that.
It used to be an inner city game.
Right.
NCAA basketball is still an inner city game.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the NBA is not anymore.
Huh.
And they've lost their and
I wonder if I can find the numbers real quick for the NBA All-Star game.
on the
Viewership?
yeah, but it's way, way, way down. And it used to be a big thing.
Really?
Yeah, people used to watch the NBA All-Star game. It was Bird, Magic. I mean, it was just but people could relate to those players. Mm-hmm. You don't no more. Just like the Mavericks with this trade. If this would have been an NFL trade, it would have been on top news. Everything in the world would have been going crazy over this.
Right.
Because it would have been it would have been like the Patriots trading Tom Brady in his prime to I can't even to an old washed up quarterback. I mean, Anthony Davis was an all-star and still is, but he's hurt all the damn time. Mm-hmm. Nobody in their right mind would have made that trade.
So hang on.
I want to do things before we get into this. The guy we met in the airport going to Puerto Vallarta, met a guy on the tram from Dodge City, Kansas that listens to the podcast. Send me your name and number, bud. I'm going to send you a shirt. Real nice man. And then to Nolan, we met a really nice guy in Port. Stayed at the same resort for this podcast from a little town, maybe Gordon, Nebraska, I think was the name of the town. Really nice family. Really enjoyed them. They watched the Super Bowl next to us. Really, really a nice family. I want you to get a hold of me too. And we watched the Super Bowl in Mexico, and it was really pleasant because Philadelphia won.
This says 5.5
million people watched it.
No, that was last year.
That's still not very many people.
That was last year. I can't find anything on this year.
5.5 million.
Yeah.
Which I bet not many more than that watched the Pro Bowl either.
That was an increase of 20% from the year before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
5.5 million people were off board.
I guess this year's numbers aren't out yet.
We didn't talk Super Bowl then because we hadn't done this since then.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chiefs Kingdom's in trouble.
I don't really.
It seems like every time someone gets unbeatable, somebody figures out how to beat them, and then that's the end of it.
The Patriots did not. They lost 2 Super Bowls in the middle of their dynasty.
Mm-hmm. I think that not all teams match up with the Chiefs where they don't have to blitz. And I think that made a big difference. And I think Howie Roseman has got to be one of the best GMs there is.
Well, he got split open by a beer can.
I saw that. But that draft and those 2 defensive backs made a big time plays. I mean, big time football players. One kid from Toledo, the white kid from Iowa that plays safety. Great football players. I don't think Philadelphia's got a dynasty either, but I think that they definitely dominated that game. And Jalen Hurts don't get any love at all. Everybody always rips on him. Jalen Hurts is the perfect quarterback for that system. He takes what you give him.
We said before we went on break that for the Eagles to win, Jalen Hurts was going to have to beat them. Was going to have to win the game.
And he did.
And he did.
And I lied because I said the only way they win is if Saquon has more than 75 yards rushing, and he did not do it.
Right. But I'd also said the Eagles have the number 1 defense. And if you look year after year, most of the time, the team with the better defense usually wins the ball game.
When they did. They dominated.
And now not being a Texas Tech homer, because I was very happy to see the Eagles win for Reese's sake. Mahomes took a big hit.
The whole game.
the first quarter. Head flops on the ground.
You think he was kind of
The
doozy?
rumor mill, not making excuses for him, but the rumor mill is that he should have been pulled
For concussion?
for a concussion.
Well, then they would have had no chance of winning with Carson Wentz.
No. Could you imagine, though?
No. But Mahomes just, I mean, like he threw the one interception. He got his legs knocked out from him right as he threw the ball and didn't get his legs in it and stuff. But they just had some relentless pressure on him the whole time. One thing was funny, too, is I read that when he had pressure on him and with under like 2.7 seconds or something, his quarterback rating was 38.1. And they said that that's the same situation that C.J. Stroud has played under all year long, and his quarterback rating is like 57.6 with that. So it was just, he pressure usually don't get. He is. I still say Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. I really, really believe that. I think he's better than Tom Brady was in his prime. But they're both two great quarterbacks, and everybody from Boston wants to get on my ass. You can get on my ass. I think that Joe Montana was a great quarterback. I think different areas you can't match them together because it's a different game. Joe Montana, if he played under today's situation, there's no telling how good he would be because nobody can touch him. He got the shit knocked out of him and still had to get up. If you put Tom Brady back in them, Tom Brady is fragile, or not as fragile, as slow as he was, would have had a lot of problems. Patrick Mahomes would have got his bell rung the way he runs down the sidelines because Jack Tatum would have knocked his head off.
Right.
So it's a different situation. But I think Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are two of the greatest players to ever play the game. But I think the best player on the Chiefs is Chris Jones. And he got hurt a little bit in the first, and he wasn't, and I think that hurt them a little bit too. But their defense could not stop the Chiefs. Could not stop the Eagles. I mean, they just couldn't. They'd bottle up Saquon, and then someone else would get it. I think, like I said, Howie Roseman, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, they got a good team, and they're going to be good next year. And I say it all the time. They run a Texas high school offense is what they remind me of. They're going to run the ball at you all game long. You take the run away, then they're going to throw the ball because they got two really good receivers.
Yeah.
And they're going to be tough to beat next year.
Yeah. I think so. I think they're good. Yeah. I mean, you got to look at, and of course we got free agency coming up, so we'll see kind of where everybody settles right now, but they're definitely the favorite for next year. Because I don't know if they're losing anybody.
Yeah, they got a shitload of teams. I saw the
Who are they
top.
losing?
I saw the top 100 free agents. They got like 6 guys.
The Eagles do?
Yeah, on defense. All of them.
On defense.
They got like tons of guys. But that right. Roseman does such a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, he just drafts, and they build from within so well. And then he'll sign one guy to fit in their scheme. I have seen now where people are scared to death of the quarterbacks in the first round of this pick, which I would be too. They're trying to trade out, and there's not a lot of buyers right now. Like every year, who's got the first? Does Tennessee have the first pick? Yeah, they do. And Will Levis, they don't really like Will Levis, but hell, Will Levis ain't got no time to throw. Their offensive line's terrible.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, why go draft Cam Ward or Shador or whoever you draft if you ain't got nobody to block for them?
Yeah.
So they would like to trade back for a bunch of picks, but nobody's just a quarterback away, and I don't think these quarterbacks are it.
No.
Aaron Rodgers told the Jets yesterday he is playing this year.
Good for him. He should.
I would love to see somebody like the Giants sign Aaron Rodgers on a 2-year deal. If he could go somewhere that just needs a couple of offensive linemen away from a pretty good team, he would be a good deal. The last 6 weeks, he did not play bad at all.
So, from what I can tell, this is the list of free agents for the Philadelphia Eagles for this year. Mekhi Becton, they'll miss him. Driscoll, Fred Johnson, Brandon Graham,
Josh Sweat,
Josh Sweat's a big one. That's a big one. Oren Burks is probably a pretty big one.
Yeah, but they've got 4 or 5 guys that are in the top 100.
Yeah.
Look and see what Washington's got.
They had a big list.
Yeah, but see if there's anybody any good on the thing. They've also got $99 million.
Yeah.
Devami Brown played pretty good at the end. Noah Brown played good. Zacchaeus.
What's Bobby Wagner going to be? I mean, I know
he's 35 years old, and he'll sign back because he likes Dan Quinn. If he don't retire, he'll sign back with them again. Jeremy Chin was one of those guys that really came on at the end. He's a young guy that didn't play good in his first 3 or 4 years in the league and really come down. I'm going to tell you what, the NFC East is going to be really tough next year because I think Dallas rebounds. Dallas has a good core of players. They just need some.
they will be number 3 again.
Dallas,
Yes.
they've got to sign another receiver.
Yes.
I mean, they have to.
You're telling me that Brian Schottenheimer is gonna turn that team around?
No,
They're
terrible
screwed.
coach.
They're screwed.
Why would you do that even?
Because they waited too
Is
long.
it control?
They waited too long.
Who do you think they would have went and got if they'd picked anybody?
Vrabel was. I mean,
I don't think Vrabel wants to work for Jerry Johnson.
and that Jerry
Jerry
Jones.
Jones.
That might have been, but either way,
If you were Ben Johnson, would you take the Cowboy job over Chicago?
Your talent pool dwindles. I mean, you only got 3 or 4 coaches out there. What would you do? You think Pete Carroll would have? Pete Carroll?
I wouldn't have hired Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll? You wouldn't have hired him over Brian Schottenheimer?
Yeah, I would do that, but I wouldn't have hired either one of them. If I was the Dallas Cowboys, I would have probably went to USC and tried to hire Riley. Is what I would have done.
They might have. You don't know.
That's somebody I would have tried to get. Let me think of another good a young college coach that's done really well. Well, Sark was up there. Sark turned him down, I heard.
Yep, heard that.
And I don't know why I wouldn't leave Texas to go to Dallas Cowboys.
But they didn't interview anybody.
That you know of.
I think that's all pretty transparent.
Well, no. You don't know that they didn't try to interview someone else. I'm trying to think of some other people out there that I would have went and tried to. I'm surprised no one tried to hire Nick Saban. I don't think Saban would go back into coaching.
Probably not.
But I'm surprised that he didn't. I'll tell you who the hell I'd hire if I was a coach.
They interviewed 4 people in January: Kellen Moore, Robert Saleh, Leslie Frazier, and Brian Schottenheimer.
I like Robert Saleh a lot.
Those are the 4 people that
I would have hired Robert Saleh to be my defensive coordinator, but he's back in San Francisco now as their DC. God dang, I had a brain for it. Oh, I'll tell you who I would. You're going to laugh at this.
The Cowboys had informal conversation with Sanders and Pete Carroll.
I wouldn't hire either one of them. You knew who I would hire as a coach? Tony Romo. He'd be my defensive coordinator. If you listen to him during the interview, he knows what everything's going to be done before it's done. Kid's sharp as hell. Sharp as hell. I don't know what kind of coach he'd be, but boy, he's sharp.
You got to manage personalities. It's not about knowing the X's and O's. It's about knowing the Jimmies and Joes, Jeff.
Well, I don't think hiring an old coach is the answer. And I think sometimes young coach gets like Cliff Kingsbury knows his place now. I think Cliff Kingsbury is not going to be a head coach again. I think Cliff Kingsbury is a very good offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And I think he proved that this year with Jaden Daniels, and he's in a good situation. And I think if he'll keep his mouth shut and do his job, he'll be there for a long time. Not like Eric Bieniemy, who thought he was better than Andy Reid. Let's be honest. Everybody knows Andy Reid is the play caller for the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
And a very good one.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson was the best hire, and I think he took the job with the most talent. Now, I don't know what Chicago's going to add defensively, but Chicago offensively's got everything they need.
Mm-hmm. So I heard something. Cliff Kingsbury was bad at recruiting, is what reports are now. I can't see
How
that.
the hell he recruited Mahomes, Baker Mayfield?
There was a so ReckhamRed.com. Cliff Kingsbury admits he did not like recruiting, and he struggled at it. I figured he'd be great at it. He's a good looking guy. Seems like,
Well, that ain't going to get you nobody.
Yeah, but he seems well put together.
Yeah, he got a good personality on him.
I mean, he seems like he could carry on a conversation. I've obviously never had one with him, but I mean, I feel like he would be a better recruiter than Bill Belichick. If you didn't know anything about either one of them.
Oh, definitely.
If you don't know about Bill's success, about what he's done and everything, if you got 2 guys into a room, I think you would have a better chance at having a normal conversation with Kingsbury over Belichick.
If your son was a top football player,
yeah,
and Bill Belichick come to your house, you don't think that automatically is going to get you a lot of
100%.
That North Carolina is going to be a big factor.
Yeah,
because they got Michael Jordan's money. Mm-hmm. And they got a coach that can say, I know about the NFL. You can say what you want to about Bill Belichick, but if he tells your kid, hey, your son is definitely NFL material and I can help him get there, that's a guy that can do it, especially if he's an offensive lineman or a defensive player.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the guy is a genius, so that's going to help them a bunch. A buddy of mine played football at Tech, a good friend of mine, and he told me 30 years ago, there ain't nothing more sleazier than the world than a football recruiter. Yeah. Now, this was before NIL and all that other shit. Maybe Kingsbury didn't feel like being that sleazeball.
This is a quote from Kingsbury. I enjoyed all aspects of being a head coach in college, but the recruiting, that's the lifeblood of any program. That should be your focus. That may not have been my focus at times as much as it should have been because I wanted to coach quarterbacks and be in the X's and O's and study other offenses.
I can understand that.
So sounds like he didn't do that. Plus, I've said this before. Lubbock is not you're not winning any points by saying, hey, come to Lubbock and play football.
Lubbock's selling point used to be good-looking chicks.
They're everywhere now.
Well, that's true, but it used to be good-looking chicks, and we're going to get the best player in the Panhandle from all 4 schools in the Panhandle that produce good, and then we're going to fill in with the 3-star kid out of the Dallas-Fort Worth or Houston area, and that'd be the end of it. We can't do that no more.
Right.
And now the NIL money has come, so that top kid that's at Lubbock Cooper or at Amarillo High or at Wichita Falls High or Ryder, whatever it used to be, one of them. Those kids now, the NIL money are going to other places. Like Wichita Falls Hershey's got a tailback now at USC. Well, that kid 10 years ago would have been to Tech.
Right.
And that's made a big difference. The NIL's killing college football. I saw yesterday where the SEC and the Big Ten were having talks about doing some kind of private league type thing. I don't know how true any of that will be, but that's the future for college football. Is you're going to have a SEC Big Ten national champion, and you're going to have a national champion for everybody else. I think the other divisions are going to get sick and tired of being runner up every year. I saw where Notre Dame hired maybe Detroit's assistant general manager to become their football general manager. That's what these big colleges are doing now. They're hiring general managers
to run their
NIL program and shit.
Money's money.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically got a salary cap every year.
And that's what they're going to start doing. And so I don't know what the answer is for the NCAA. I love football, I love college football. And so I just want it to be competitive. But man, it used to be fun to be able to watch a Division II school early in the year upset a Division I school or not a very good Division I school because the talent level on the starting players was not a whole lot different. It was the depth that killed you.
Right.
And that's why you'd watch a game and Ohio State would be winning by 3 against a team they should blow out. And then in the fourth quarter, they score 3 touchdowns and win by 3 because they just wore you out because of depth.
Yeah.
Well, them days are gone with the NIL. It's the big schools, and then there's the
haves and the have-nots.
Yep. They said that's what's killing Alabama and Georgia now, though.
The NIL.
That they don't have the depth they had before. In Clemson, they said when Georgia played football 7 years ago, their third-string defensive tackle was going to be drafted in the NFL probably.
Yeah.
Well, now their third-string tackle is playing for somebody else starting because he's getting paid $500,000 a year. And money has definitely changed college football, not for the better.
I saw there was an interview, I think it was with Ryan Clark. No, who was it with? One of those types of interviews where it's an ex-player. Trying to remember who it was, though. The college kid he was interviewing had more money in his account than the retired NFL player did.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
That's sad.
I mean, it's like a sophomore or something, a sophomore or junior. I'm trying to remember who the hell it was. Shit, I see his face right now. That's not going to get me there, but yeah. Got retired from the NFL.
And he's got less money than the kid.
He's got less money than the kid.
Well, they changed the NFL rules after Jamarcus Russell.
I think it was Brandon Marshall.
Because Jamarcus Russell, when he was a quarterback for the Raiders, he got like $45 million guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And he was terrible. And he's like, well, here's a guy that played in the NFL. Let's use, Trent Dilfer. Mm-hmm. Trent Dilfer's made $15 million this year, and he's played for 10 years, but you've made $45 million in 1 year. And that's why they changed that, not because of Trent Dilfer, but to make it where the big contracts become to the guys that get on their second contracts in the NFL that have proven themselves.
Trying to see how much money it was. Oh, it was 19-year-old Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith has more money in his bank account than NFL great Brandon Marshall. Marshall played 13 years in the NFL and made over $80 million. Smith has just played 1 season on the NIL.
Well, but hold on now. Brandon Marshall's blown a lot of money then.
I agree. I mean, that kid. It's not.
They said if that
he doesn't have $80 million in the bank. It's just what he made.
If the kid, that Jeremiah Smith, I saw a draft the other day, he'd be the first player taking the draft this year. He's only 17 or 18. Just like the kid at Alabama that's 17 years old, he would have been the number 2 or 3 draft pick.
Right.
They got Archie Manning back second. I don't know how they can do that. He hadn't started the whole season yet. He's a Heisman favorite too.
Buckeyes spent $20 million on NIL money for their national championship winning team.
It's a pretty good investment if you ask me.
I mean, it ain't bad. It ain't bad money,
No.
you know? So
They got
just
more
the
out
way
of
the
their,
game's played.
they got more money out of their $20 million than Jerry Jones did out of his $180 million.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know.
All right, we'll get out of here.
All righty, we'll get out of here. Glad to be back.
We're gonna have a hunt giveaway
Glad
coming
you
up.
didn't die.
Yep, we have a hunt giveaway coming up pretty soon. I don't know what dates we're gonna do yet because I got to figure out some stuff going on with the state of Texas and some season dates may be changing.
Were you worried you were going to die?
No,
You never thought about
felt
death?
like shit. Yeah, I felt like killing myself.
Oh,
I didn't. I felt like shit. I mean, it's not as bad as the flu was in Oklahoma a couple of years ago. I got the flu, and last year we hunted up here, and it was in my chest. Every time I breathed, I could hear that stuff.
because that's what I've noticed the older that I've gotten, and now I'm kind of diving more into jujitsu, and I'm like, am I hurt or am I injured?
There's a big difference.
And that never used to cross my mind. You know what I mean? A little ouchy, and you're like, okay, you're 37 now. Did you just tear something, or does it just hurt? The other night, I had indigestion. I'm like, fuck, do I need to go to the hospital for a heart attack? You're like, is this going to go away, or am I missing? Am I going to wake up dead, or is this just real bad indigestion? Can I sleep this off, or is this my last night here? You start worrying about that the older you get.
Well, I
Feel that weird pain, and you're like, uh-oh.
I had a heart attack that lasted about 6 days,
So see there?
but it was just a weird feeling.
Runs in the family.
But it wasn't like what I was expecting.
Well, that's what
Because
I'm,
I was
I don't
expecting
know what it,
that horse cramp that does it. And mine was
right,
just a little,
like grumpy old men where he just craters out. And,
Yeah, no, mine was just a little swing deal. But I can tell you this much: I don't want to die of cancer.
No.
Now, and I say that as I was laying in bed and I hurt all over and was feeling bad. I thought about my dad and I thought, this is my dad's last fucking couple of years of his fucking life. I thought, man, this sucks.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
they dope you. They keep you numb.
I don't, that's no life. I thought, man, I don't want to live like
Not
this
life,
shit. I'm telling you right now, if I get some shit like that, fucking give me an overdose of some shit and let me put me to sleep. I mean, you can't even, they don't even get comfortable. I feel so sorry. The older I get, the more I think about my friends that have died and shit. And cancer, what a misery. That's, give me a head-on collision or some shit, you know? I don't want to, when I'm getting old and something's wrong, just let me go. I don't want to be, that's a terrible life to just sit there and lay in bed. I thought that. I was looking in bedroom, looking around all the fucking times in the slot bed. And thought, man, what a fucking place to have to fucking just wither away and die in a bed.
This
Fuck
is gonna
that.
be it. Yeah. I saw that firsthand.
And there are people right now that are listening to us. Somebody's laying in that bed right now, and that's their last. They listen to podcasts, and I feel so sorry for them. Just a shitty way to go.
God, don't let us be your last thought.
Oof.
My grandmother died, and that was it.
I think that's the onset of the flu.
Sat in bed and withered away.
Wasted away. I think that's when I got
Everybody
sick.
Everybody got to being out. No, being out in the cold.
Yes, that funeral was terrible.
It was cold. It was a little.
29 degrees in north wind at 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Wearing a jacket.
At least you were dressed for it.
Oh, it's cold. Oof.
I got to get me a Trump overcoat.
I have one.
Yeah.
I didn't wear it. I wore my dang
fit
the
me.
warmest jacket I have.
You got to layer up underneath. That's the secret.
I promise you, if I did that thing all over again, I'd have sweats under my slacks.
Yeah, you gotta
and
do
everything.
that.
But I was cold. But my shin dry wax jacket is what I wore on top. Mm-hmm. That was the warmest thing I have, and I still was cold.
You look dapper. You look good with your hat that you lost.
Yeah, I lost my cocksucker hat. I got to order me another gray one. It was cold. It was the coldest funeral I've ever been to in my entire life. I was thinking the whole time I was thinking about Jinx sitting there laughing at us, freezing our butt off.
She said she wanted graveside only, and by God, Papa was just he was just bound and determined that was what she was gonna get, no matter the weather.
She did. She got what she wanted. It was cold. Gosh almighty.
Yeah.
Yeah, God bless her. She was a good lady. She was very good to you boys and your mama, so I'm very proud of her for that.
Yeah.
Good people. I want to be grandparents that your grandparents were. So I told your pop, I said, my goal in life is for me and Michelle to be looked at as the kind of grandparents that y'all were to the boys.
Yeah.
Damn good ones.
Yeah, he's aged a lot the last 6-7 months. Been a long road.
How long have they been together? Since they were in their early 20s?
Crap, I remember this. Yeah, it was
early
it
20s.
was early 20s, and
he's 80 years old now.
81, same age as Biden.
And you wake up every day now. And
Yeah.
that's a void there.
It is, and just So she had a stroke in April. Got a call that, I think about this a lot. Got a call that she had fallen and he couldn't pick her up. So, you just think about that. Like his what he is as a man was tied to protecting her. So, I'll get a little choked up, but just knowing how long he fought to get her up, because he knew that if he made the call that he couldn't get her up, she was going to go to a home. It's what ended up happening. But, I think about my life later on. I'm like, how hard would I fight to get Jesse out of the floor?
Yep.
It'd be tough. It'd be tough to make that call. And then the next 6-7 months, every day, hospital, nursing home, hospital, nursing home. There's no telling how many miles he put on that little car of theirs just going to see her every day. And just watched her waste away.
You want me to give you the blessings of that, though?
He gets to move on.
Well, no, not that part, but for 60 years, he got to have someone in his life.
Yeah.
Because I used to always get mad at Dad all the time because Dad never wanted to get remarried again. I said,
I'm not saying he's the first widower.
No. But I'm saying that was a very blessed life to have, and it sucks at the end that one of you's going to go.
That's the fine print.
Yep.
Death do us part. One of us, unless we go together, one of us is going to bury the other one.
I saw a I don't know what you call it, a meme, a picture yesterday. And it was 6 guys, their graduation, and they were all holding up a beer. High school graduation, all had a beer. And it said, this is the reality of this picture. One of you is going to bury every one of the others.
Right.
One of you is going to be the first to go.
Yep.
Whoever's the last to go, there won't nobody be at his funeral out of them guys because you're going to be the last one to go. Do you want to be the first one or do you want to be the last one? And that's a tough call.
Yeah. But
that's a very true deal. And I look back to some of my best friends in high school that I hung out with. There's a group of, I had multiple groups of people that I was friends with, but I had one group of guys that I hung out with a lot that there was 5 or 6 of us, and there's 2 of us left. Now, if you'd have told me when we were 18, out of the 5 of us there, that there would only be 2 left, I would have given you pretty good odds I'd be one of the 2. Because the 3 that are gone all partied and had a lot of fun.
Makes a lot of sense why they're gone.
It does. But the reality is, if you'd have told me that, I thought there's, and they've been gone a while. It's not like
right.
I'm 50. I'm fixing to be 56 years old or 57. Mm-hmm. 57. They've been gone for 10, 15 years, 3 of them.
Yeah.
But that is the reality of the thing. And you don't think about that. And I tell kids that when they graduate high school. If you take a high school graduation class and you tell those kids, hey, tomorrow night we're all going to get together, somebody's not going to show up. You're never going to be all together again.
Right.
The rest of your
Once you
life.
leave that stage.
And so it's a blessing they got to live together. It's just sad how it all comes apart.
It is, but
Brooks and Dunn says it best. There's got to be more to it than a long ride in a hearse. There has to be. You work too hard to leave a mark in life and go leave a mark in life. There's so many people that leave this world and you leave. Nobody even knew you was here.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 generations from now, who the fuck's going to know who most people are?
Yeah, probably not many. Just the stories. I mean, unless you lived a good life.
How many times do you think Reese and Jameson are going to go to Jinx's headstone?
I don't go
when they get older.
I don't go. I've never gone to my great grandmother's.
I mean, nobody does. Mm-mm. Michelle, after the funeral, went to her dad and brothers. Mm-hmm. Reminisce and think about it. But you guys are never going to go there.
I haven't yet. No.
I mean, Dad's sitting in the deal right here, but if Dad had a headstone, I don't know if I'd go to it. I don't talk to that goose much.
I don't know what that is. I don't know. Did prior generations go to the cemetery all the time?
No.
I mean, is this something that we've
I think
lost?
headstones are like hallmarks.
I mean, is it just something that was big at one time to go? I don't know. I don't get the whole going to the. I just don't get it. I don't get going there, where like, I mean, they're not there. It's just a piece of stone. Like you're better off going to a restaurant that y'all used to go to or something and reminisce about the times you had there, or your house or whatever. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like I would not go see Ron if he were at a cemetery, but every time I drive down that road to go turkey hunt, I think about Ron, because that was a road I drove down to train Lou every day, and I see his house whenever I turkey hunt a lot of times. I would think about Ron more there than I would going to the headstone. What am I going to say at the headstone that I can't say out there?
I talk to Dad in my truck a lot.
Like I said, I don't know if that's something that is getting lost visiting headstones. Maybe it was a big deal 200 years ago. I don't know.
I think certain cultures, it's in certain cultures more than other. But I talk to Dad in my truck a lot. When I'm alone by myself is when I talk to my dad all the time. That's my dad time, is me talking to him when I drive around.
You need to be talking to the big father, Jeff.
I talk to him all the time too.
Oh,
but that's when I talk to my dad, or just, I don't know if I talk. I don't even know what you'd call it. I just laugh about stuff and stuff like that. And out of my grandparents, my grandpa Cordy's the only one I really talk to. I think about my grandma Cordy. I've got a necklace that I've got that's a widow's mite, and it reminds me of my grandma Cordy for some reason.
Yeah,
and when I rub it, sometimes I think about my grandma Cordy.
Yeah,
but I just
cremate me.
Well, I'm going to be cremated.
That's my final answer.
I think that's pretty much going that way with everybody.
Probably going to put a whole nother industry out of business. Accountants and funeral homes are all going out of business.
Remember, the two things you're guaranteed to is die and pay taxes, and now we're eliminating both of them. So there you go. So no more undertaker.
Go figure. All right.
I still want to know who the first person is that figured up you can't fucking cremate somebody with the damn pacemaker inside of them. It was a big boom.
It was a big problem, most likely.
All right. Thank y'all for listening to us. Apologize for taking 2 weeks to do a podcast. We had sickness. We had travel, but we'll get back on this track.
Grandma died.
Yep. Deaths and travel and sickness. God bless y'all. Have a great day. Have a good week. Bye.
We hope y'all are having a good time, though. Watch for deer. Check out all of our great sponsors. Go check out Boss Shot Shells. Get those turkey loads coming to you. And soon we'll be talking about the double load that's coming out. Pacific Calls, use our promo code BHP25. Hemp Hill Farm, we got a promo code there, BHP. Dive Bomb Industry, Ducks Unlimited, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Mossberg, excuse me, MLR Graphics, Stanfield Outfitters, Mallard Bay, and Mitch Hall Chevrolet.